What's happening, good people? What's going on? Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel Basement, aka the virtual The Shore. But what's happening, man? I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's doing great. See, some of you guys were asking if we were live. Yes, I gave you the one finger. I was trying to adjust something with my camera, man. You see this little, let me see if y'all can see this. See this little fuzz, this noise here in the camera? I needed to adjust the white balance in this camera, but I'm not gonna worry about it, right? We'll do it for the next time, minor things. But what's happening, man? Hope everybody is doing well. You know the routine. What we're gonna do first and foremost is say hello to the early commenters. Just say hello, shout outs to the people who've already chatted. And then we'll dive into the topics, man. And mainly the topics tonight, very brief, Again, the real nitty gritty won't happen, guys, until we get some real football games. I know we got a preseason game coming up. I'm a little disappointed, guys, because I don't think I'm going to be able to see it in real time. I got something going on Saturday. It's hurting my heart. But I'm sure by the time I come to you guys on Tuesday, I'll be able to talk about it. I want to do a post-game show. But like I said, I'm not going to see it in real time. I already got another engagement on Saturday. But maybe if I get a chance to see it, maybe I'll do like a post-game show Sunday night. But anyway, the main topics for the night, man, the main topic is George Pickens. Want to talk a little bit about George Pickens, man, as whether or not this guy could end up being the steal of the draft. Also, should we be concerned about Najee Harris's injury? We'll also talk a little bit about Mitch Trubisky looking like the guy, and I put in parentheses, so far. I mean, a preseason game hasn't even happened yet, but so far, and I will explain to you why I think he's going to be the guy to start. I mean, we've been speculating this, but I'll just give you a little bit of context. And then I'll talk a little bit about, man, keeping our eyes on guys like Loudermilk and Delonte Scott as well. A couple names that you're hearing, Delonte Scott kind of being more of the new puzzle piece there, doing some things at outside linebacker. Let me make sure I got that right. Let me double check my own reference here. I think he is an outside linebacker. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about that stuff, man, and we'll be in and out. We'll take a few phone calls and then we'll be in and out. Give me a second, guys. Y'all know how I do. Y'all know I like to have my facts straight. Just want to make sure he's not an inside backer. I want to say Delonte is an outside backer. And speaking of inside backer, yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about an inside linebacker who is requesting a trade. We'll talk a little bit about Raquan Smith. And I know some of you Steelers fans are already over the moon about that and already got him on the roster. We'll talk a little bit about it. Hold on, guys. I'm just confirming. Yeah, outside linebacker, Delonte Smith. Delonte Scott, excuse me. But all right, man, let's get into the show. Welcome, everybody. Hello and peace and love to Joshua Shields. A&R. See, I told y'all Steeler Nation was already going to be on Raquan Smith. He's already talking about it there. My man, why dig in the building? Michael Garman, Build His Life, Jersey Boy 70, Blake Sterling, Cody Yo. Oh, no, he just says Cody. He says Yo Sim. I said Cody Yo. But what's up, Cody? Sade! What's up, Sade? Welcome back, man. Haven't seen Sade in a while. What's up, Miss Lady? Appreciate you coming through, man. I know even sometimes when you guys can't make the show, I know we're still there in spirit with each other, man. We all have lives, man. I don't expect people to watch this show each and every week, but it's always good to see when you guys come back and salute. I always love that. Jed Devil, 007, Few Late Nights, Underground Connie Corso is how you actually pronounce that dog, folks. A lot of people say Kane, but the actual pronunciation for that dog is Connie Corso. Big Head Steve. I like that. Big Head Steve. I like that name. Luis D. Kevin Murdoch. Brian Williams. Is it Faki Balboa? Faki Balboa. He says, what up, Sim? Shouts from Norfolk. Okay. 2 up, 2 down. VA in the building. Y'all already know what time it is. Y'all know I'm always going to rep my home state, Virginia. What else we got? C. Antoine Hill. Hello, Miss Lanisha. How you doing this evening, Miss Lady? Always got to take time to say hello to our lovely ladies. Miss Debbie. Hey, Miss Debbie is in the building. It's funny, man. I always act so surprised when I see Debbie, because a lot of times Debbie is in the chat, but I don't get a chance to shout her out in the beginning. I always miss her, so I'm always happy when I can actually give you your very, very, very appreciated hello. So what's going on, Debbie? All right, man, let's get into it. King Go Crazy is the last one. Shout outs to you all. So let's start with one of the minor topics first. Quick question, folks. I'm going to throw it to you guys in the chat. Should we be concerned about Najee Harris's injury? It was reported when he had the injuries that his foot got stepped on or what have you, right? And I don't know how serious it is or isn't. Could be good news that we're not hearing anything. Maybe they're just being slow. We don't really need to see Najee much in camp, right? But the question does remain, should we be concerned? Like, how are you guys feeling about it? I'm checking your temperature. Are you guys feeling like maybe there's something going on that we don't know about? Or do you guys feel like it's no big deal, he's okay? And they're taking it slow, which I am in favor of, by the way. I'm in favor of that. We do have a donation. Round of applause. Appreciate the round of applause. I said appreciate the round of applause. Let me take a sip of water, because clearly I'm all over the place tonight. I said appreciate the round of applause. Boy, I'm human, man. We all make mistakes. I appreciate the donation, Luis, and round of applause to you. He says, at first I considered Dotson as a starter for this upcoming season, but after hearing about Kendrick Green, is it possible he wins the position? Luis, man, that's a great question. Because what have we been hearing early, right? Rotation. We've been hearing, and even on the depth chart, they're listing them both as starters. There's a couple positions that the Steelers have done that with the most recent depth chart, where it's like 1A, 1B, right? It's not a definitive second team guy. Kendrick Green happens to be that, Dodson / Green for left guard. I'm going to say this. It is very possible that Kendrick Green wins the position. I know some people have a bad taste in their mouth because of the fact that, how his career at center has gone so far. But listen, he played left guard most of the time in college, and then he had to switch over to center, but that's his natural position. He has the dog in him. We all know that. He's good on the move. We all know that, which could maybe be some, different type of things that we're going to do with him with this type of offense. Kevin Dotson didn't necessarily have the wow season last year. Kind of a down season. Some of us thought that maybe he didn't perform as well as he could have. Kevin Dotson is not a guarantee. And yes, I'm still going to stand on the ledge. And we said it a few years back that we all thought that Dotson could end up being something. And that's all you can do. All you can do is go out for what you saw. Now, what we saw him do in college, albeit being, small school, and I hate when they throw that moniker on it, but sometimes you have to acknowledge that because of the level of competition, et cetera, et cetera. But we thought that this guy would be a mauler. We thought he could move for being as big as he was, very agile and nimble. But listen, man, maybe, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't pan out to be exactly what we thought. Maybe he's better suited at right guard. I don't know. But to answer Luis's question, I think it is absolutely in the cards. It's a possibility that Kendrick Green could walk away with being in that position as a full-time starter. We shall see. That's why I can't wait till we can get some film, man, preseason, and it's going to tell us a lot. Let me see what you guys had to say about Naji. Let's see. I think why Diggy says no, we shouldn't. I think he's saying we shouldn't, worry about him training camp and all that type of stuff. We don't really need to see him. I think that's what he's saying. He says, plus it's worked good for the other running backs. Yep, I would definitely agree with that. King Go Crazy says he could especially... Oh, okay, he's talking about Kendrick Green. Okay. Anybody else say anything else about Naji? Dawson got hurt today at practice. Dawson. Who's Dawson? Do you mean Dotson? I don't know who Dawson is. I'm not being funny either. I mean, it's training camp. It could be somebody on the 90 that I don't know. I think you mean Dotson. So if you meant Dotson, somebody said he got hurt today. Why Diggy just says, I think Dotson's injury just isn't doing him any favor. Best abilities, availability. Wow, see, I didn't even know he got hurt today. See, well, there you go. It could be Kendrick Green's position to lose now. It's an ankle injury. Okay. See, and again, like somebody here said in the chat, your best ability is availability, right? So, when you're in a competition, it's not good. Now, somebody like Naji, that ain't gonna matter. And Sade says Naji is fine. We know what he can do. Yeah. So, I'm just to answer my own question, guys. I'm not overly concerned about Naji. Man, I didn't even cut the timer on, so I'm gonna have to keep my own time. See, I'm all over the place. But yeah, I'm not too concerned about Naji, man. I think the fact that, he tweaked a little something, they're just being careful with him. We know what Naji's going to be. There's no need to put him out there and, rush him into play and all of that. We don't need any of that. So I'm not even going to trip, but I'm just asking, does it make some of you guys concerned by that? Moving on. Speaking of injuries, I did see that Montravius Adams, Tomlin mentioned that, he went down today and will have to be evaluated. I think it's an ankle as well, I think he said. So, keep an eye on some of these guys. And Jersey Boy says Dawson. Who's Dawson? Who is Dawson? Am I missing somebody? Oh, he said, my bad. Look, Jersey, I was just making sure, man, because listen, in training camp, dudes are let go and signed and cut and signed like almost every other day. So I try to stay abreast of who the team is, but I was like, oh man, who's Dawson? I thought maybe it might have been somebody. But yeah, shout outs. I know what you were saying. You were saying Dotson, but I'm just checking. Where was I at? Oh, injury. Man, did y'all hear what they said about Larry Ogunjobi yesterday, saying that, he definitely showed himself and making an impression in his first opportunity to practice. And that's good to hear, but I think we all know what Larry O is going to be. It does get me a little excited, though, especially after seeing the depth chart, and they kind of listed him, opposite of Cam Hayward in the starting rotation as a D-line in base. As a DN in base defense. So that's interesting. If we throw the base defense out there, 3-4, Okie look or what have you, then we're going to have Ogunjobi playing the DN and, having, why am I not remembering these people's names, guys? Tyson. We'll have Tyson Alu in the middle and then have Cam Hayward on the other end. Could be interesting because Ogunjobi, can do quite a bit of things, man. He can play the run. He can give you some pass rush as well. So, I'm not disappointed by that. I know a lot of people probably were thinking it would be Chris Wormley or perhaps Isaiah Loudermilk as well, which I think both of these guys will have opportunity to rotate there as well. But again, it's an early depth chart, man, before any games or anything has happened. But keep an eye on that. And it is good to hear that, he's looking okay as far as his first practice session since he's coming off of an injury and he's rehabbing that. So can only be up from here, you would hope. And again, still talking about another injury. We all know now that Tyson Alu also came off the PUP list. So that's great. It's starting to look up, man. You're having a little bit of injury bug, here and there, but that's just typical training camp stuff. So far, nothing major. Even Cam Sutton got back in this week and got some work in. So doesn't seem to be anything major happening. Claypool is getting himself back together. Fryer move. So just your minor bumps and bruises. As Tomlin would say, he always says, minor bumps and bruises associated with play. That's all it is. It's the things that are associated with camp is happening. Luckily, we're not hearing about anything super major. TD Autry, man, I did see TD Moultrie, did see that. Unfortunately, he has been put on the reserve injured list. So, some of these guys, it's unfortunate that we're kind of long shots anyway, and then you suffer an injury. It's just a bad break. Let's see the next one. Speaking of Loudermilk, I also have him as a guy to keep an eye on, and because of what everybody's saying, they're saying he's looking like a different guy. His body build and things of that nature, which I'm assuming maybe he leaned up and toned up, and I'm curious to see how that translates into play. Again, he's like a little Cam Haywood. Cam has pretty much taken him under his wing. Let's see what year 2 does. Very interested and very intrigued by what he can be again, just because of his physical stature. I think Isaiah Loudermilk might be something. We shall see. We saw a few flashes here and there last year, but again, just getting his first season under his belt, and getting used to that. Let's see what he does in year 2, and then obviously year 3, when that happens, is when we'll really be looking to see what type of player he is. And I think we're going to need all of these guys, man. The Steelers seem to have a little bit of depth, quite a bit of, a depth at the D-line, and we're going to need all of that to compensate for the loss of Stephon Tuitt. Speaking of Larry O as well, he was quoted as saying that he kind of sees some of his game being the same as a Stephon Tuitt. So we'll see. We'll see what we're able to do. My biggest concern with the D-line guys is obviously I hope those guys can keep the linebackers clean so we can definitely have a more successful, defense against the run. Because it's going to start right up front. Everybody knows. If you're into football, football, the game is won and lost in the trenches, right? Can you get pushed on the offensive line? Can you get penetration on the defensive line? Can you get a pass rush? Can you get to the quarterback? Can you keep your quarterback upright? Those are the things that are going to matter. So hopefully defensive line can penetrate and they can get into the backfield, or at least just penetrate enough to allow the guys behind them, particularly the inside backers, to stay clean. And I think we'll be okay against the run. But we'll see, because, replacing Stephon Tuitt will be tough, but we have to remember Tuitt was never available for a full, season of play. So might not be as hard as you think, but hopefully we can find a piece or pieces that can give us that type of production over time. The next topic here, let's see. We talked about Naji and Delonte Scott. Keep hearing his name. He's another outside linebacker. The reason why I'm really going to keep an eye on him, hopefully you get a chance to see him this week in the preseason game, is because, listen, guys, I'm really not set on who the third outside linebacker is. So I got my eye on Tuska, Avery, Scott, and whoever else. Whoever else is thrown into that fold, who can be the legitimate third piece? Why is that important? Some people might ask. Well, the obvious reason is if something happens to Highsmith, and I think he's tweaked something today too, but nothing significant. But I think he's dealt with something either today or yesterday. But if something were to happen to Highsmith or TJ Watt, what do you have behind him? That's the most obvious reason. But also, another reason why I would like to know who the number 3 guy is can we create a rotation? You guys would remember early on last season when Melvin Ingram was in the fold, we had a 3-headed monster, man, that was, formidable, right? You can keep a guy fresh. You can keep rotating a new or fresh guy along with someone else, throughout the game. If you had you complemented with 3 guys, capable guys, you could give TJ a blow. You brought in Ingram with Highsmith. If Highsmith needed a blow, you brought in Ingram. If Ingram, needed to come back out, then here comes TJ ready to come back. I would love to have that again. So that's why I'm very curious for those 2 reasons, to see who's going to be the solidified third piece And it seems like there's some competition that's going to happen there. Shout outs to Luis D for another donation, man. Round of applause. Luis says, how much do you think Joby will impact the D-line? I think a lot. I think he is definitely going to improve the run game and give us some pass rush. I think he's going to have a huge impact, man. Again, if you look at what he's done throughout his career, some people are saying, oh, well, he's not all that. Again, some people want a Hall of Famer at every position. So if you're not a Hall of Famer, then you ain't all that. But go look at his career. Go look at the things that he did well up until this point. Look at what he did for the Bengals last season. And he's going to bring that to our defense. I think it's going to help greatly. I think it's going to help to keep guys like Miles Jack, Devin Bush, or Spillane, whoever it is, clean. I think we're going to see more opportunities with the backers being able to roam more so than we saw last year. Last year, we were getting blown off the ball quite often. I don't think it's going to happen as often with a guy like Joby out there along with Cam Haywood and Tyson Alualu. And then even if we're in, nickel, if you slide him inside with Cam Haywood, with Highsmith and Watt on the outsides, yeah, I think you have a better opportunity to even defend the run in that scenario with those four guys. So we shall see. Also, we're hearing some stuff about Leal, man. We keep hearing his name. So I cannot wait until we can see these guys in action in preseason, man. And again, I'm not even going to claim these guys as Hall of Famers the first time I see them, or bust the first time I see them, as some fans would do. I just want to see how they look in the stadium, in the game. And then, we can have film to kind of say, okay, this is what I see he does well. This is what he's got to work on. It won't be any more guessing. You know what I'm saying? So we're very close to those times, guys. First game this week, this Saturday. Let's see. Next topic. Mitch Trubisky, guys. From everything that I'm seeing, piecing together a lot of the clips, the reports. If you listen to Steelers Depot, you would hear from Alex Kazor that there's nobody running away with it, right? None of the quarterbacks are running away with it. But it's even with the down days that he's had, all of them have had that. It's camp. Let me say this as well, guys. Do you remember when Ben Roethlisberger struggled in camp quite often, even as early, as recent as last year? Don't get so fixated on that. But from all of the footage I've been able to see, and there's a lot of it if you know where to look, Mitch Trubisky to me is seeming like the clear-cut starter going into 2022. And the reason why is it's the throws that he's making, right? And you're hearing that Kenny Pickett is having better days and taking a few more chances further down the field, 10 to 15 to 20-yard shots. Good to hear that. But from a lot of these clips that you're seeing, I've seen a ton of it. Like I said, there's multiple people that's recording footage and these little clips here and there. And, I can kind of watch each one and go through my mini evaluation off of that type of film. It's not enough. But he's making the throws. Like, think of the clips some of you guys have seen. He's making the tight throws. He's pushing the ball downfield. He's throwing that, ball on a rope to the sideline where it's this much space between the receiver and the DB. Some of the throws are a little risky. I'm not mad at that if they're accurate. Right? You want guys who will take chances from time to time and let your athletes win the battle. And that's why I said from what I've seen from all of those guys, and it's poquito, muy poquito, very small, right? However, he's looking like the guy today. Preseason is going to allow us to see Kenny Pickett. It's going to allow us to see a little more Mason Rudolph. It's going to allow us to see Mitch Trubisky because the Steelers and Trubisky have a new relationship. They can't just go off of what he was in Chicago and in Buffalo. We have to see what he is with us. So expect to see him play Probably a little more than you would expect a normal veteran quarterback. I don't know how much he plays in the first game, but expect to see Trubisky get some real work. So we're going to very soon be able to determine for ourselves. Don't you love that, guys? We won't have to rely on reporting. You can see it with these two, your own two eyes, and make your own determinations. But I'm just saying, as of today, from what we're hearing, from what is being shown, clearly to me it looks like Trubisky is going to start. And I don't think that's a surprise by many. So I just thought I would throw it out there. One last little small thing I would say. Let's go ahead and get to it because I know the Steelers fans want to hear it. So there's word out there that Raquan Smith would like to be traded. Let's talk about that real quick. Then we'll get to George Pickens and I'll take some calls and then I'm out of here. I already knew Steelers fans. I already knew you guys were going to say, we need him. Let's make the deal. Listen, I'm not mad at that. Not mad at that at all. A lot of us really liked Roquan Smith coming out of school. Roquan Smith has been a very solid, active, productive linebacker so far in his career. You think about him being alongside Myles Jack. Whoa. That sounds pretty good to me. Some of us are not sold on what Devin Bush will be. We don't know if he ever gets back to what he could have been before the injury. We don't know. You're not hearing glowing things about him in camp so far, right? You're hearing that he's splitting time. That's one of the other positions on the depth chart is Myles Jack, and then it's Spillane and Bush. So to get a guy like Roquan Smith, absolutely. I would take that in a heartbeat. However, folks, is it possible? Is it possible? I don't know what his contract situation is. I know he got paid, right? Didn't he get paid? Let me take a look. Let me take a look real quick. Let's see what his current contract is. I know I want to say he got paid not too long ago. Roquan Smith current contract. Let's see what he working with. See what my boy Roquan got going on. It says here. Oh, I think he's requesting a contract. That might be what the beef is about. Well, let me see what it says here. It says the speculation about his contract suspects Smith is aiming to be the highest paid linebacker in the NFL. Shaquille Leonard from inked a 5-year deal worth $98.5. Seeing that Smith likely wants to break the $100 million mark, which would roughly be $20 million per year over 5 years. But what is his current contract? That's what I wanted to see. It says his rookie contract with the Bears was worth $18 million over 4 years. With his contract up last season, he's due $9.7 million this season based on his 5th year number. Okay. That number would give him the 3rd highest base salary amongst all inside linebackers. Okay, so now if what I'm reading here is true, he's not on a new contract. He's playing on his 5th year option. Okay, that throws a little wrench in the situation, folks, because again, if you trade for him, there's no guarantee you sign him. So you're basically giving up whatever you're giving up to have him for 1 season, right? That's number 1. Number 2, if he's looking to get big time money, are the Steelers willing to pay that? Being as that we've already paid several people on the team already. How much are we willing to invest in another position right now, right? Another veteran. So the only way I think this gets done is they would have to do like a wink type of deal. Like, listen, we're going to trade you and then we're going to agree that you get a deal done right away. Listen, Omar Khan has been a miracle worker here lately. If the money works and if it's team friendly, and that's crazy that I'm saying that because I'm usually for the player, but if it's team friendly as far as financially, make it happen. Just wouldn't go out on the limb and say it's going to happen, guys. And I want to be honest with y'all. I don't want you guys out here being mad if it doesn't happen. We have to think about the business, okay? As much as we love our Steelers, the Steelers are not going to get every player. They're not going to select every player that you want in the draft. They're not going to sign every free agent that you want. They're not going to re-sign every guy that you want. They're not going to trade every guy that you want. It just is how it works. I know we expect it, but it just doesn't work like that. So would it be a nice piece? Sure. But if it works financially, is the only way it's going to happen. But would I be in favor of it? Absolutely. Roquan and Miles Jack? What? Yeah, I would love that. But let's be realistic as far as that expectations. Let's temper those expectations a little bit and not expect that to happen. If it does, we'll all be jumping for joy. But don't expect it. All right, last topic. Is George Pickens potentially the biggest steal of this past draft? What do you guys say? What say you? Based off of what you know about him in college, what you're hearing about him so far in training camp. Again, everything I'm saying right now, parentheses, so far. We don't know anything today. We're going to see him in live action soon. But with some of the clips that are circulating out there, I know today, and if you happen to watch the show, it says Smitty in the Streets. That was the moniker. I don't want to put your name out there, my bad. But, I mean, you put it on in public, so I guess you're not hiding it. Great footage he had out there today showing 3 connections from Trubisky to Pickens, 1 or 2 of them being a touchdown. We've seen all kinds of acrobatic catches and just seen his physicality. We're hearing about how he's woofing down the defense, and obviously he had a little something to say to Minka. I love that fire in the kid. And he's just a physical freak, right? You know, of course, they're saying some areas that he needs to work on, perhaps might be his route running, and I think he's improving that as well in camp. But is this guy potentially one of the biggest steals, man? Because, you know, injuries is the reason I think that, of course, pushed him down to the second round. But, man, I say one of the biggest steals or the biggest steal because of what he could potentially do for our offense. There could be other guys out there that you feel is more talented, or there's another guy that you might feel is the biggest steal. But I break that down as an overall collective as far as what he could potentially be to the Pittsburgh Steelers offense this season. That's where I judge whether or not he's a steal. So what do you guys think? Why Diggy says it might be Calvin Austin. Okay. Luis says Pickens and Austin are big steals in the draft. Okay. Vibe. What up, Vibe? Vibe says, yes, he is, but he can't do nothing with trash QBs. All right, Vibe. So I think your sentiment is all of the quarterbacks on the roster are currently trash. I'm not mad at that. I'm just trying to make sure I'm correct in your assessment. My man Carmichael says Pickens, and it's not even close. Kenny ain't getting any real reps. Yeah. Ernest says, I think Pickens will show out by game 3. Okay. Joshua says, I say Pickens and Austin in my honest opinion. Okay. I ain't mad at that. Just wanted to get a feel for you guys, man. Okay, Vibe, you say, yeah, you think they are trash. Look, man, listen. Are any of them great? Maybe not. You know, I can't say what Kenny Pickett is or isn't. He hasn't played in the NFL, right? Mason Rudolph could do enough to manage a game. And I think Mitch Trubisky will be able to do a little more than manage the game in this offense. We're hearing that there's a ton of boots and play action. You know, it's been reported, it's been upwards to about 50%. Mitch Trubisky can run an offense like that. If we get into a situation where we're going to need these guys to stand in the pocket and deliver, then I might get a little nervous because I don't know if any of these guys really have that pedigree where you trust it. But hey, they're on the team. As of today, the quarterbacks are not going to change, so all I can do is look and hope for the best. Look for the best in what they do and hope for the best as far as what they can do. And that's it. Got to see him in the game first, yes. And that goes, I don't know who exactly you're talking about, Jersey boy, but that goes for Pickens and Pickett. All of the above there. We got to see these guys in a real game situation, real game action before we can crown them. But, you know, that's why I like to, you know, until we get film, that's why I like some of these shows. Just a topic is just basically a question to you guys, just to check your temperature, see how you feel about things. But all right, man, let me take a few phone calls, man, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Let's see if we got anybody in the queue. We actually have one in the queue right now. So it seems like it could be a very short night. So we have area code 651. What you got for us?
What's up with you, Sam?
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. So I got one question for you. With the way the offensive line is, being that Daniels has had experience at center at Iowa, could we put Dotson back to the right side at guard, Kendrick at left, and put Dotson and Daniels in the middle? If that's our best line, why not? But again, like I said, if Dotson can't stay out the tub, then I don't know if that even matters. And to answer one of your questions, Pickens is the steal to me. And everybody talks about how Cincinnati has a three-headed monster. I think teams around the league are looking at our receivers right now like, all right, we got to hope Pickens, Trubisky, and Rudolph just falls on their face because we got some killers out there this year. And you had those guys spread out with a guy like Naji there, and then you got Fry move right in the intermediate part of the field. It's gonna be rough for him, man. That's all I got. Thanks.
Man, thanks for the call. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, we as Steelers fans, you know, it's hard for us to not shoot for the stars with our hopes and dreams. But if we're just looking at it objectively, right, the Steelers could very well have a ridiculously potent offense as far as receivers and possibly production. Again, if we're running a lot of play pass and boots, getting these guys on the move, I mean, Austin with his speed, I mean, we have a guy that can take the top off the defense. Pickens can actually do that as well because he's fast and big. You still got a guy like Claypool that you can get in the slot, which they've been playing. I've heard of lineups where it's Pickens, Johnson, and Claypool. Claypool being in the slot, that could get ugly. Fryer move. Naji can come out the backfield. I mean, it's a lot of opportunities there, man. Hopefully these quarterbacks can get them the ball. But yeah, you know, not even trying to be a homer, just looking at that talent, they could be something. They could definitely be something. And real quick, man, you mentioned Daniels. Man, I'd rather keep him at guard, but I can't wait to see him play as well. Because again, if you've been listening to some of the reports, you know, he hasn't looked particularly well. It's kind of early overreaction, admittedly, by those reporting it. But I'm going to keep my eye on him, man, just to hopefully, he pans out the way we need him to pan out. I don't think the Steelers' plan, though, is to move him to center. From what we're hearing, he's not even getting reps at center. So that's probably not going to happen. I think the worst-case scenario would be Dotson loses out to Kendrick Green. Mason Cole will be the center, or J.C. Eisenhower, one of those dudes. But it's more than likely I don't see Daniels moving there. But thanks for the call, man. Next up, we got our good buddy, Mr. Winningham, area code 803. What you got for us tonight?
Yeah. Fuji. I'm not Mr. Winningham.
I thought it was.
I actually went to school from where Mr. Winningham is from. I know I heard one show he mentioned he was from Orangeburg, South Carolina. And if you heard of South Carolina State, Claflin University, there's 2 schools in South Carolina there. So anyway, That's not what I called about. I wanted to talk about the QB competition. I know you're going to get tired of this subject until the season starts, but I think Steelers fans are looking at this competition the wrong way. This is not a 3-way competition. This is a 2-way competition between Mitch Trubisky and Mason Rudolph to be the bridge quarterback.
Yep.
Kenny Pickett is the quarterback of the future, whether that's week 1, week 8, next year. But when Kenny Pickett is ready, he's going to start. So the competition is between Mitch and Mason to be the bridge. And whenever Kenny is ready to start, that's when he's going to start. And that's how Steelers fans should look at this competition, not a 3-way competition. That's all I want to say. I'll let you get on with the rest of your show. And shout out to Mr. Winningham.
Man, thank you, 803. I didn't catch your name, so if you could put it in the chat. I swore out it was Mr. Winningham, but now my memory is serving me. His is 803397, I think. So shout outs to you. Again, if you hear this, make sure you put your name in the chat so I know who that was that called. But I think you're absolutely right. I believe it is just a 2-man competition in terms of who's the starter today. When I say today, I mean, week 1, bridge. I think it's clear that Mitch Trubisky obviously is a bridge quarterback, and how long of a bridge he's going to be is going to be up to him and Kenny Pickett. Or is Mason Rudolph going to look like the guy that can hold the fort, if you will, until Pickett is ready? So you are absolutely right, because I see a lot of people still looking out there, putting out there, I think Kenny Pickett's going to be the day 1 starter. I don't think so. Unless he blows the doors off of things and overwhelmingly, impresses the Steelers and the coaches and all of that, man, because I really do think that this is more so a true, quote-unquote, Ben Roethlisberger situation when he was drafted. Ben Roethlisberger was not drafted to start. They felt like they had their quarterback of the future, but he was exactly that, quarterback of the future. He was forced to start when Tommy Maddox went down, right? So I think that's exactly what they're looking to do, hoping to do, and maybe that's the reason why they even drafted Pickett, whereas some people didn't necessarily want that pick. They see a more QB-ready guy, a guy that they'll be able to groom a little faster, whether it's later this season or going into the next season. So, yes, I do believe as well that the competition is between 1 Mitch Trubisky and 1 Mason the Reindeer Rudolph. Could not disagree with that at all. Let's see. What else do we got? That's it. I don't see any more phone calls, so we're going to go ahead and wrap that up for the night. Let's hang out a little bit, guys. I'll spend a little time with you guys, man. Got a little time here. And see what y'all got in the chat. So fire away. Any comments, concerns, questions, thoughts, hellos, goodbyes, whatever y'all want to say. Jacob, okay, he says it's me. So shout outs to Jacob Bellinger, man. Appreciate your call. Really, really do appreciate that. What y'all got? I'm saying though, says Pittsburgh pulled up. Okay, in the green says Dan Marino played in it, was run first, pass second, and today's time is pass first, run second. Okay, you guys must be debating something there. Jacob again says, I think he can be the day 1 starter, but his role is locked in until he's ready. Yep, regardless of the win. And that's an interesting point. You might be right about that too. Even if they think he's ready, they might not necessarily start him right away. They might want to slow roll him into it. Sade says, I hope MT makes Mitch Trubisky can carry us to the bye. Would be nice. Would be nice. Whoa, Kev So Fun said it's his birthday today? Man, happy birthday to you, Kev So Fun. Let's give you a round of applause, man, for your birthday. Oh, you said Monday. Well, round of applause anyway. So, happy belated. Hope you had a great... Oh, wait, he says in the 15th. So, yeah, is it this coming Monday or was it yesterday? Either way, happy birthday. My man Dez in the building. He says, I'm worried about y'all this year. Y'all under the radar like a mug. Yeah, he's right. Shout outs to my brother Dez, man. Very, very, very real Ravens fan right there. That's my man right there. Yeah, man. You know, and as much as the Steelers fans don't want to admit it, listen, y'all getting all upset because the Steelers are projected to be at the bottom of the division, and it's just projections, but can you argue that though? Right? Now, the only one you could argue is whether or not the Steelers would be in a better, position than the Browns. But technically, could you argue, just looking at everything that transpired, could you argue someone starting the Steelers off at the bottom of the division? Like I said, the Browns situation's a little different now because you don't know how it's going to play out with Deshaun Watson. But let's just assume Deshaun Watson is able to play, whether it is 6 games or not. Everyone else's trajectory seems like it's more in place than us currently. So I can understand people saying, I don't know, man, that's the Steelers going to have a tough way at it. They're going to have a tough schedule. That's a tough division. So I'm not upset about that. So to me, all they can do is prove us wrong. So I'm looking at this season as being, optimistic that maybe they get it together, but also understanding they might not. Again, this is a brand new era, right? So we shall see. We shall see. What else y'all got? Give me a few more, man. I'll kick it with you guys for about 5 more minutes or so. He says Pickens is the next great. Okay, Kyle. Can't really argue with that either because he's, he has all of the tools that would project us all to say that he might be a great receiver. We shall see, man. It's a long time ahead. 007 says Browns have too much drama and distractions. Yeah, that's true. That's what I'm saying. You can debate that, whether the Steelers should be ranked under them or not. But, right now, honestly, I'm definitely looking at Cincinnati and even looking at the Ravens, man, as probably having the better records than us. You got to keep it real, guys. You can't have, as they say, the rose-colored, glasses on, man. You got to keep it real. Jameer Sanders says, people don't understand how great Mitch will be for us. He's a winner. Jameer, you know what? I'm just gonna sit back, and when he actually does win, let's say he does, I'm gonna say, see, remember after we signed him, I was like, I don't know, guys, he might be okay in our offense. Understanding what Trubisky wants, Canada wants to do, Trubisky can do it. And that's the funny part. Mitch Trubisky actually has a decent win-loss percentage. It's what it is, guys, is this. And it happens to most people who watch football. Not everybody can analyze the game. Most people take a look at a game or two, or they remember seeing a game where a guy played bad, and that's their only impression of them. Oh, that guy sucks, right? You see a few games here and there with the Bears where he didn't do so great, and that's their only impression. They forget all of the times that he actually won and getting them to the playoffs all of that stuff. People seem to forget all of that, and they just automatically go to, oh, he sucks. Now, again, I don't think any of us are sitting here saying that he's great, but understanding, and we'll get to see some of it once the season starts, because preseason ain't showing at all. Understanding what Matt Canada's trying to do, the type of things that they're currently doing in terms of play action and rollouts and bootlegs and things like that. Come on, man. I think Mitch Trubisky will be able to definitely do that. How well is up to him. But I think he's being put in the best situation he could possibly be in to succeed. And if he doesn't succeed in this situation, then maybe the realization of the career might be over would kick in. But he has the best opportunity to succeed. He has a beast running back behind him. He has talent around him. He has a great, in my opinion, coaching staff as a collective around him. He is a veteran. He can throw the football. He can run the football. He has everything at his disposal to be successful. If he doesn't do it here, then maybe it's time for me to say, well, he's just not great. You know what I mean? Jameer, man, thank you for the donation too. I just saw that. Round of applause. Thank you so much, Jameer. I really appreciate you. Jameer says, we are in such a great situation. Mitch will lead the way. I'm telling you, I'm from Illinois, and the Bears are awful. We made the playoffs each year. Okay, respect. I've heard this from quite a few Bears fans. Shout outs to my man, Zan. You know, some of you guys know him as Zan Madden or Madden Zan. I forget which way he says it. But Zan is a diehard Bears fan. He's from Illinois as well. Excuse me. He even said, yeah, man, I think Mitch could be okay for you guys. You know, so a lot of the fans that I've talked to who are Bears fans was like, nah, man, Mitch has some skill. You know, I don't think nobody's saying he's elite, but he's talented enough to do what everyone thinks our offense is trying to do this season. And that's where I'll leave it. I think Mitch Trubisky will be more than capable as a bridge gap quarterback. That's just my opinion. And if he doesn't, then, you know, I'll come back and say, well, I thought he was. I'm not going to change my opinion. I'm just going to say, man, I thought he was going to be able to do better than that. We'll all see. We'll all see. We'll all see. But all right, guys, we got about 1 minute left. Word? You got some Connie puppies in a few months? Okay. I thought about it, man. My brother had Connies. My brother's had all kinds of dogs. He's had Connies. He's had Neapolitan Mastiffs. He had a Presser. What was that other dog he had? I forget. But currently, right now, he has a Bauble. So if Connie, if you're into dogs, you might know what that is. I mean, he's just always with these massive dogs, man. But my son is allergic. So we really can only do hyperallergenic dogs. And I want a big dog, you know. So right now, we're kind of thinking maybe a giant Schnauzer. That's probably one of the only dogs that kind of works for all of us. You know, nice looking dog. They're big. They got a little more temperament than most people would think. People think they're just cute and cuddly, but nah. A Schnauzer will let you have it in the right situation. So that might be what we land on as far as a real dog size. I wish I could get a Connie, man, but just can't. All right, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up, man. Uh-oh, somebody says Mason is going to surprise y'all. Let me tell you, all the chips are on the table at this point. I'm not ruling anything out. We'll see. And that's why this is exciting. So anyway, guys, get ready, man. First preseason action is coming up this Saturday. If there's any news or anything that breaks that's important, I may do another quick video, probably a pre-recorded video before then. Like I said, guys, already got a prior engagement, man. I'm hanging out with some family on Saturday with my wife, my son, my nephew, and then, you know, my best friend and his wife, another couple as friends of ours. We're all going to go hang out. I think we're going to Hershey Park. You know, just have a nice family day, man. And I forgot it was the same day as the Steelers' first preseason game. Oh, God, I'm going to cry. I just told my wife before I started the show, I said, hold on, 13th. Whoa. But So I won't be able to do a post-game show, man, but that will return for the remainder of the preseason. If I'm able to watch the game live, I'll do a post-game show. And y'all know when the season starts, that's what we do. When the season starts, post-game, Terrible Towel, pre-game show. So get ready for more content. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys look like on Saturday. So again, I probably will see it later than you guys. But if it's something to talk about, maybe I'll come on Sunday and we'll do like a little post game at that point. But we'll see. But other than that, guys, I'm always gonna remind you, man, if you haven't already, do me one favor. Hit the like button. That's simple. If you like the video, hit the like button. That's the only way I know you liked it. If you like what I do on the channel, subscribe to the channel, because why would you not subscribe if you're watching anyway? I don't get it. If you don't like it, don't subscribe. And then the last thing I need you to do, man, if you have subscribed or if you are subscribed, make sure you click on those notifications. Otherwise, you'll never know when videos are live or content has been posted. But outside of that, man, had a good time tonight. Somehow we always find enough content to make it an hour. We did it again. So I appreciate you guys for doing that. And like always, man, God bless. Stay safe. Good night. And I thank you for tuning in to another episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. Go Steelers. Catch y'all later. Peace.